Hey everyone, this is Tina Hogan Grant with my A Cuppa A Natter that I like to do twice a month on a Monday. I like to bring authors into my home. We talk about books, writing, life as an author, and whatever comes to mind. And today I have Angela Christensen joining me from Iowa. How are you doing this evening?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm excited to talk to you and learn about your books. But before we get started, can you just give me a little background of not just me, the readers too, whatever you want to share with the rest of the world?
Well, um, I'm from Iowa. I've lived here most of my life. Um, I started writing in 2019. So far, I've self-published 2 books. I'm working on my third book. The title is called Breckenridge Falls, and actually, in the little like advertisement, that's the first time I've ever showed anybody the cover, but I'm still writing it, and um, I really enjoy writing, and hopefully I can keep doing that.
Oh, I'm sure you. But congratulations, you
Thanks.
published how many books?
2
Two
so
books.
far.
Congratulations. And your first one was published in 2019.
I think it was like 2021 was actually published, but I started writing in 2019.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it took me 2 years for the first one, and I actually lost the book. So it was just kind of like, let's see if I can do it. And I never really had enough faith in myself to do it before that. And so I actually was watching a lot of the. Have you ever heard of Brenda Novak?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so I was watching a lot of her book group at that time, and I'm still a member, but I've read a lot of her books, and my boyfriend was like, "Why don't you try to write?" And I listened to her story, and that inspired me to write because I felt like, wow, with her situation and her life, she was able to do it. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so I tried it, and I lost the first 4 chapters, and I was gonna give up because I was like, if I keep losing the chapters, then I keep wasting, time, and I could be doing other things. And then we moved to Maine from Iowa, and I went and bought a laptop, and it just miraculously showed up on the computer. And I think it was
It
somehow,
was meant to be.
yeah, like there was an account I didn't know about or something
So it was meant
connected,
to be.
and I not good with technology. So there it was, and I thought that was a sign to continue writing.
There you
So
go.
I did.
There you go. Because I hear some really, heart-wrenching stories of authors that gave up too quickly.
Yes.
And there are obstacles all the way in this career. It never ends. It never. I mean, I've been writing for 6 years, and there's always obstacles. And the main thing is, don't give up. Just
Yeah.
keep pushing forward. And it's tough. And there's things that you got to grow a tough skin with. Some of them is reviews.
Yeah.
Yes, people are going to leave you bad reviews, or they just didn't like your book. Our book is not for everybody, and we have to tell
Right.
ourselves that. And we either learn from it. If it was a review that gives you some information, and you learn from it, but you have to go a tough skin and move on, and just tell yourself,
Yes.
my
Yeah.
book's not for everybody. But that's just one sample. But marketing is another.
Right.
I can go
Yeah,
on
like
and on.
when I first started writing, I thought, like had everything I needed, and I was sitting down to write, and I'm like, I can do this in 2 weeks. And I literally took it for granted, the length of time and effort. And then I started writing, and I was like, wow, like it took a lot longer. And
Oh
once I
yeah,
started doing it, I found, like I had to do a little bit more research, or like the editing part of it, which I still think I need to work on. But yeah, so I found out that it's not as easy as I thought it would
no,
be. And I
it,
don't think anything is. So I really like doing it. So I'm not gonna give up on it.
no,
So
don't. And
yeah.
your first book, correct me if I'm wrong. Your first book was called Returning Home.
Yes.
And I'm going to ask you, then I'm going to say hello to our readers that are joining us. But I
Okay.
wanted to ask you, returning home, what inspired you to write that book? I know Brenda Novak was one of them, but the actual
Yes.
story.
Actually, okay, so the actual story,
Do you,
um,
do you have a
I
book there?
just what?
Do you
Sorry.
have one of those books there? Returning Home?
Yeah, so here's
Oh, there we go.
Returning Home. And I know that the cover looks like she should be in the middle, and I had it like that, and I didn't like it. So I
Okay.
put her there. So she's like in the binding. And
Oh,
then
she wraps around. That's
all
good.
the way
Fun.
around. And I remember an old album cover, like that my mom had of Olivia Newton-John, like when I was little, and you'd open them up and you'd see like their whole body. And like, I always thought that was really cool. And I like, this kind of represents a lot of what the story is about. So I just started thinking what would be something interesting that I've never read about, because I read quite a bit of books, and so I just kind of made it up. And like at the time, there were a few people around me that were complaining about having a dead-end job. They're tired of working and feeling like they work for nothing. And I took that and I made Joan. And Joan is, she's a woman who left home, Maple Valley, Georgia, when she was 18, and just took off to Seattle with a friend. So it's kind of a long distance. And
Wow.
like, she had an office job and had the same job, only had roommates. She never had any real relationships. And 15 years she worked at this job, never contacted her family, and they never contacted her. And I felt like I needed something that would make people wonder why. And that made me wonder why would somebody not contact their family? So I used that. And then she took a month-long vacation, went home, and she went there back to Georgia to find out where she's meant to be. Does she belong in Seattle? Is her heart really in Georgia? Are they going to feel the same way about her? And I just kind of went with that. And from there, and it sprouted out, and I tried to put some suspense in it, and I kind of wrote it out because I started thinking, oh, well, if I take it out, like I have to rewrite this whole thing, like, and I don't want to do that. So, yeah, so I just wrote it out, but it's, I kind of went through it a little bit because I don't read them often, but just skimming through it. And there's a little bit that carries through the end, but it is very different. So I don't want to give it away, but it's not, I really honestly didn't care for it, but I had to leave it, because I didn't know how to really like do that. Because I felt like
It's your first book.
What?
It's your first book.
Yeah, it's my first book. So I just was kind of like winging it.
Well, congratulations. And with this book now,
Thank
is
you.
that a standalone, or do you think you'll continue on with it to be a series?
So it started out as a standalone, and like my newest book that I'm writing now, Breckenridge Falls, is a sequel. But then I'm going to stop after that because I want to do something different. So I don't know if you have ever heard of, this is kind of like a heartfelt, kind of a romance. It's a nicer book, even though it has that little bit of suspense in there.
Like a romantic suspense.
Yeah, a little bit, but
any steam?
Oh, was it what?
Any steam?
A bit, but not anything too crazy.
Not over the top.
Yeah, not over the top. So, Breckenridge Falls is going to be more of a psychological thriller. So I thought, because that's what I wanted this to be. But then somebody was like, well, maybe you shouldn't do that. Maybe you should, write something a little nicer. So I feel like this is kind of like the foundation of the characters. And then in Breckenridge Falls, it kind of starts out. I use some of the same characters. There's some new characters. It just kind of 5 years later, this is where they're picking up.
Nice.
Yeah,
I love it.
So,
I got some more questions for you, but I do want to say howdy to the readers. I'm going to start way at the beginning, readers. I'm sorry I'm ignoring you, but let's see who's with us. Okay. We have Karen Geeling here. She says hello.
Hi.
And Karen Wright says hello.
Hello.
I'm just going through the comments. Belinda says hello. Carol News says hello. I'm just scrolling. Barbara from Florida is here. And also, if you have questions for Angela, as you know, go ahead and put them in the comments, and I will get to as many as I can. I see a couple already. B is here. She says hello. I will get to the questions. Just want to see who's here. Darlene is here. We got quite a few joining us. Janet is here.
Oh.
Virgie is here. And Darlene says she loves that cover. Karen says she loves the name. As you can see, I like to involve our readers. Belinda says the cover is really neat. That's an interesting story. Lisa is here. And I'm going to keep scrolling. Belinda says, sounds like a wonderful book. Connie is here and says, great cover. Virgie says, great cover. And one more, suspense. We need more books like it. And I saw a couple of questions. I'm going to grab just a couple real quick while I'm scrolling. Hold on. Now I've lost them. Give me just a minute. I saw a couple. Okay, here we go. Karen says, okay, I'm going to ask a question first before you ask this one. But with this book, we're going to start with the first book, maybe all of them. But when you write your book, do you plot it before you start writing? Or are you a pantster and you just sit down and see what happens?
Well, it's a little bit of both because, well, like, I had to think about what I wanted it to be about. But when I don't really have an outline, or so I just kind of sit down and see where the story takes me or what I come up with. And, I can sit here and I can think and I have no ideas. I sit down at the computer and start writing and they all they come out of nowhere. So like I can do it then. And I'm like, I feel like I have writer's block, and then I sit down and they just flow. And, so that's pretty much how.
And then with Karen's question, I'm assuming she's asking, do your characters talk to you?
Well, I feel like in a way, maybe not completely. I try to picture in my mind what I think they would look like. I feel like with each character, like the origination, I feel like the dialogue is really hard for me because I feel like I have to create a new personality for each character so they don't all sound the same.
Yeah, you do.
Think, what do I think they would say and how that would sound? So maybe in a way, so I'm not really sure. I think that maybe a little bit.
A lot of times when I do dialogue, I use body language when they're talking. For me, that gives the reader a feel of like a nervous person or someone that hates to use the word nerdy. But if you look at a person that's on a computer or not reads a lot, but just a nerdy person, they tend to be fidgety and they can't sit still and they're very nervous. And they'll be playing with the thumbs, they might be playing with the hair, crossing the legs back and forth. Right. So I kind of pick up on the personality of somebody and use that in the dialogue. Or if someone is like older, say like a gentleman that's older, he moves slower. If he moves slower, then he's going to talk slower.
Yes.
And you can describe his voice as deep, or definitely if he has an accent. A lot of people will write in an accent. I choose not to. I choose to tell the reader in an English accent or in a French accent. Because for me, when I look at a manuscript, this is just me personally. Everyone has their own way to write their books. But when I look at a manuscript and they're written in French, French accent, it just looks bad to me. Yeah. So I'll just tell the reader, when you're reading this dialogue, think of a French accent. That's what I do. But there's certain ways you can bring the character in through dialogue. It's scripted. So think of it. But it is hard. It is hard.
Yeah, it is.
Like you said, you have to distinguish each character and give them their own personality, their own habits, and try and use them all the time when they talk. If they fidget one time, they're going to talk. They're going to keep fidgeting every time they talk, and you want to be consistent with your characters. So,
and I don't ever take like the story from another book. So like, there's times where like I'm writing and I just I can't think of something, and then I'm like, I need to go read my book. I'm reading like from another author, and I'll read it, and I don't steal their ideas, but like after just a break, I think, and actually reading, I think that helps me come up with my own ideas. But I would never take like a story from somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's amazing what can trigger a story.
Yeah,
it can just be a sentence that somebody said, or even just a single sentence out of a book, a magazine, and you can wrap a whole story around that.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, this just popped into my head, since you started writing, Have you found that your reading habits have changed?
Well, maybe a little bit. Like I used to be able to read a lot longer at one time and like 3 or 4 hours, or I could stay up all night, and now I can't do that. And I guess that's one of the things that's changed. Maybe my preference of books, or like I wanted to stick to all one author, and now I'm kind of like branching out a little bit.
You're diving in. And how
Yeah.
about when you're reading the actual story? Do you, with me, since I started writing, I find myself paying attention to what's grabbing me in a book. And if I find my mind wandering, like I'm
Yeah.
reading a story and all of a sudden I'm thinking about dinner, or I'm thinking I got to go feed the dogs.
Yes.
Something in that page or paragraph lost me.
Yeah, I do notice that.
Yeah, and I will go back and go, okay, where did it lose me and why?
Yes.
Or if I'm, the opposite is, if I'm reading a book and I gotta go fix dinner, but I gotta finish this paragraph. Oh, I gotta finish this chapter.
Yeah.
What is so captivating about that page that I don't want to cook dinner right now?
Right.
So I find that I'm paying more, because before when I read, I would just, read blah, blah, blah. But now, because I write too, I want to know why a book's losing me or why a book is engaging me. And I just noticed that I will read a paragraph 4 or 5 times, so it takes me twice as long to read a book.
Yeah. Yeah, I do kind of notice that too. And I look at punctuation, and that's something that I feel like I kind of struggle with. The way things are worded, or yeah, like if there's something that's really interesting me, like you said, why you don't want to put the book down. So I have reflected on that, and that's what I think, like when I write a book, like if I'm becoming bored with writing, then I probably need to change something. Like whether it's my environment or like because sometimes I tend to drag on and the dialogue, and I feel like, oh my God, this is gonna be boring. Like I don't want it to be boring to the reader. So I feel like I've got to like spice it up a little bit. So I tried to like write something in there that's gonna like hold their interest, because I'm losing mine.
That makes sense. Before you publish your book, and
Yes.
you've done the final edits, do you read your book out loud?
I don't. Well, I do, but
you do?
I thought I could read the whole thing, and I don't think I've ever read my book all the way through. So, like, if I'm writing and I stop and I come back to it, then I'll like read the last chapter, maybe 2 chapters, and then I go from there just to recap. And then like, but before all of it, I like might scroll through it on the computer, and I look through my old books. I don't know why, but like not my old books, but the ones I've already published. And there's one. But I've never like read through it completely.
Yeah, in the last 8 books, I've read them out loud. All of them before I publish them. And I'm amazed at what you will find, because
Yes.
this is for me, but when I'm reading a sentence and I have to break,
yes,
there's a word in there that shouldn't be there. Something in that line caused me to break.
Yeah.
And I just and that's why I read it out loud. And it just gives you the flow of your story.
I might do that with this next
you'll be
one
amazed.
that I'm writing.
You'll be amazed at what you discover when you read it out loud. And even the dialogue is helpful too.
I think I'm going to do that.
Just little tips. Okay, I see some questions yet. Then we're going to talk about your next book after I get some more questions out of you. Karen's asking, what genre will you read and won't read? Seeing how we'll talk about reading.
Okay, so I don't like, well, I like psychological thrillers probably. But I also like romance. So I think I like them equally, because romance, but like Christmas stories are like probably my next favorite. And most of them are like romance, or a nicer book, or like if I've read like a really scary, like psychological thriller, or I might read like a Viola Shipman book, or something that is a little bit more heartfelt. something like that. Maybe not just Viola Shipman, but that's somebody I also have read. So what I won't read, I mean, depends. Like, I did read these books, and it was a series, and it was, I think it would be horror. And I read, it was 5, and I think I read 3, and I had to give up because, I mean, it was repetitive. So it's the same thing, just a different book, but it was very scary.
Yeah, I
So,
can't do horror.
and I mean, I think, but it was, I thought I liked it at the time, but I don't think I'm going to go too deep into like horror, gore. I don't think that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I
So,
can't do horror.
I like, nice. And I don't like, some of like I don't know if it's really, maybe it's just thriller, but Frida McFadden, I've been reading a lot of her books lately. But then I don't do this often, but I'm reading 2 books at one time right now. So I'm reading that one. It was a gift to me, and then it's The Housemaid's Secret, and then I'm reading a book. It's like a religious book.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm like, Joshua is what it's called, and that's actually my boyfriend's name. And I found this book at a book sale, and I'm like, I'm gonna get it. And actually, it's a pretty good story.
It's good? Oh,
Yeah,
well,
I
you
like
never
it.
know. You never know.
Yeah, I think I'm reading it more than, my comfort zone, where would be like, psychological thrillers. So that's what I want to try to write. But then, like, I mean, I'm not against writing anything that's a little bit mellower either. So,
Right.
or reading.
Yeah,
So
horror
a
I can't
variety.
do. I'll never write horror, and I don't read it. I mean, I read it back in the day, like Stephen King, when I was like in my teens,
Oh yeah,
but I don't do it anymore. I can't. I don't want nightmares. I just don't.
yeah. That tends to happen to me too.
Yeah, I just can't. And the same with horror movies. I can't watch horror movies. So okay,
I mean,
Karen.
oh
Yeah,
sorry.
That's okay. Karen says, "What hobbies do you do besides writing?"
Well, uh, let's see. Little like, okay, so I have a daughter, and she's 7, and we like to do little crafts. I haven't been doing them a lot with her, but we like to read. I like to read to her too,
Oh,
and
good.
I
said, "Good." Reading to your daughter. I love that.
yeah, and so like for school, they want you to read. Of course, it's summer now, but 15 at least 15 minutes in the evening every day. So I was just shocked at how well she can read these, and they're like chapter books, and she's 7.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and then like, I like flower gardening. So I'm not very good with plants in the house or like indoor things. I'll kill it, but outdoor, I'm pretty good with outdoor plants. So we've been, actually redoing some mulch. We planted a bush this past week, and, I don't know if you know what 4 o'clocks are, but they're like blooming, and they're like they look like a bush. I really like
Sweet.
the flowers. So,
Are you going to grow vegetables together?
no, I thought about it, like some 3 different types of peppers,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know that we have enough space. And I thought, we probably don't have enough time because we both work. So I thought, maybe if we got to a point where we had more time to do it, to weed it and stuff.
Well, now
But
you're writing books. There goes your time.
yeah, and like, yeah, so I do a lot of writing at nighttime, like after my daughter goes to bed, and
Mm-hmm.
I haven't wrote for a little while, so I need to like set a schedule and actually do it because that's probably I would like to get my new book out within the next couple months, but I don't know if it's gonna happen. But
That'll
yeah,
be awesome. Okay, talking of your next book, let's go back to your second book. Is called the Fire Within the Cult.
no, it's
No.
cool. That's a
When we
good
became
title though.
When we became strangers, right?
Yeah, when we became strangers.
Okay.
So
Okay, that came out when?
this came out in February of 2022. So,
Oh wow, just a couple
yeah.
years ago. And can you give us a little background on that one without giving too much away?
Yeah. Okay. So, 2 friends, they are 18. So they I don't know what it is. I noticed that I didn't plan it, but it's kind of got some same there's like lots of traveling. The people are the same age and they go somewhere. So I noticed I do this. And so anyway, these two best friends live in California, and one's wealthy and one is not. And the wealthy girl, she wants to go to Maine, and I lived there for a while, so that's why I used Maine. And I haven't read a lot of books that use Maine as like a plot setting. So they go there for college, and then her parents, the one that's wealthy, get a place for them to live 5 blocks away from college. And one of the girl that isn't so wealthy, she left a really good boyfriend and relationship and took off to go to Maine. And then when they get there, pretty much her friend ditches her and she becomes somebody that she didn't know. And so she doesn't know anybody, and she doesn't want to do the same things that Melissa's doing. And she just wants to get her degree and go back home. And Melissa wants to party and just, stay out and not include her. And so then she leaves, and there's no trace of her behind, and Melissa doesn't even try to find her or anything. And then later on, Melissa, 8 years later, Melissa tries to seek her out and find her.
Ooh.
And she doesn't know that she's trying to find her. Cadence is the character who left, and she wants to put that all behind her because she's starting her new life to what she really wanted. And so things get a little twisty, and so I don't want to get
Sounds interesting. Now, is this a standalone or is this going to be a series?
This is just a standalone.
Do you think you'll continue on with it?
No, I think I'm done with this. And I mean, I like it. I love them. I'm proud of them. But I think I want to try something else.
Something different.
Yeah, a different idea. And
I saw a question, and I apologize to the reader because I don't remember who asked it. But the question was, are any of your characters in any of your books based on real people?
No.
No.
No. No. I mean, there might be a few things like, I know a lot of people like, I knew somebody who thought it was about them, and it is not. So that's one thing I like to do is even names. And it's really hard coming up with character names that's original, that you don't know anybody with that name. And I try really hard to do, like in my first book, Joan and Brett. I might have known a couple people that were like older, but I didn't name it after them. I just thought that's original because like I don't currently really know anybody with those names. Cadence is a name that I was going to name my middle daughter. And so that's where I got that. And then Melissa, I thought, well, I don't really know any Melissas, and like it's not used as much, I don't think. And so, but I try not to do that. And like Maine, I live there. So some things about my life I might bring in, but it's never really about anybody
I think we all do that. I'll see bits and pieces of myself and people I know that I didn't intentionally put in.
Yeah.
Because I don't read, I'll write, but I don't read the whole book until I'm finished.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I'll be writing my book for 4 or 5 months. So when I'm finished, it's been 5 months since I wrote chapter 1 or even read it. Because if I start going back and reading, I just opened up a can of worms. I'm going to start editing and changing. Like, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to keep writing. But then I'll start picking up and like, wait a minute, so-and-so does that. Or I do that. But I think subconsciously, we do put ourselves and a little circle of our lives in our books, just for that personal touch.
Well, there was a lady, like, when I first put out my first book, I shared it on Facebook, and there was a lady, I won't say who, but like, I actually used to go to her for therapy a long time ago, and she said that lets her know a little bit more about me or something like that. And I didn't expect that comment, and I'm like, I wonder what she means. And then I start reading it, and I'm like, oh, maybe I'm giving things away and I don't realize it.
You don't realize it, huh? Yeah, we got to be careful. Belinda has a question about your stories. She wants to know, do you put many animals into your stories?
I can't. I don't think I did. I maybe in when we became strangers, like when she goes back, they might have a dog. like when she goes back and starts her new life. I think there might be a dog, but I don't know. I don't think I've added really any.
Okay.
Maybe
All
I
right.
should.
Yeah, I do. I mean, not in every book, but
Yeah.
as long as the dog doesn't die.
Oh, yeah.
Can't
Well,
do
I
that.
don't have any pets currently, but in my life, like as a child, I had a lot of pets, and like where we've lived in the last several years won't allow pets. So, and my daughter really wants a pet, so I'm like
Aw.
thinking where would be a good place we could like move to, or
I
we
know.
can.
It's always, I'm afraid to watch animal movies. Like they better not kill the dog, or they better.
Oh yeah, I
I
know.
said no. Ever since what is it, Old Yeller? I
Oh
can't do
yeah,
it. I can't do it. Why
I
why
can't
would
watch
you
that
do that?
either. I've watched it once, so that's the thing. Like if I watch a sad movie or something like that, I don't watch it again. So I
No.
really like The
Like, why
Notebook.
would you do that? Yeah.
If I cry, no more.
I can't do it. All right, sweetie. You are going to give us a treat and do a little reading for us. Are you ready
Yeah.
to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So show us the book you're going to be reading from,
Okay. So I
and
think
then I will shut up and be quiet so you
was
can read.
returning home, right? Like I think I'm gonna read 5 pages of that, or my newest book, right? I think
That's okay. Whichever one you. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
I'll read this one.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so
It's
when we
all
became
yours.
strangers.
Stage is yours.
Okay,
When what is that called again? When we became strangers. And you're
yeah,
going to
when we
read the
became
first
strangers.
5 pages of chapter 1.
Okay. So don't mind if my voice cracks, so I'm gonna try my
That's okay.
best here. Okay, so on the first page, I have a little quote at the top. So I'm gonna show you that page because if I can get it over there, I don't know if you can read it, but I will read it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I put it up there. When the troubles of the world are still too much, keep your world small. Chapter 1. So I'm sitting outside the college waiting for Melissa. I felt nervous and rattled by the things she told me. Okay, so I thought to myself, I need to stay away from her for a while, but I just couldn't. She's my best friend. I didn't know anyone. She's my roommate. Everyone has an accent I could not get in tune with, and it had been nearly a year since moving to Maine. We were so close to Nova Scotia. It was unbelievable to think we could be in there. Sorry, be there in just a short amount of time. Melissa and I did not have passports. She is the one person I would go with if I did travel there. The thoughts that crossed my mind when waiting for my friend were overwhelming, or is that because I was nervous for my friend? Melissa had to go into the office to discuss a class she wanted to drop. She wanted to pick up another class to take his place. School has just begun, and it was nearly September. The leaves were starting to change a little, but not a lot. We have mostly seen bright red leaves. We first noticed them on the ground. No sign of red leaves on the trees anywhere, but there had to be for them to fall to the ground. We looked at other trees and seen nothing. Melissa looked at the very top of the tree and spotted several red leaves. It was amazing. 2 girls from California traveling to the other side of the country just to go to college. It was truly a blessing until Melissa got herself in too deep. I still didn't know the entire story, but I was hoping Melissa would tell me what was going on since she wanted me to wait for her outside the picnic tables. These picnic tables were round fiberglass tables. They had a variety of colors, blue, yellow, or red were the choices, and each table had a white umbrella that was secured in the center of the table to block the sunlight to give people shade. The tables individually were on a large slab of cement in the shape of a rather large circle surrounded by tall trees. It smells of pine so thick it sometimes would put me in the Christmas spirit, even though we were still several months from the best holiday ever. Some sidewalks sprouted from the slab that went in 4 different directions. These sidewalks led the way through the campus to easily find where students or staff needed to go. I cannot keep waiting for Melissa. I've waited over an hour and there is only so much time I have before I need to start my homework. I have a life too. Melissa always had something going on, and that is why she is now in the office, trying to figure it all out. I heard someone come up from behind me, and I have to admit it startled me. I was easily spooked. It was Norma Mahoney. Cadence, why are you sitting here all by yourself? I was just waiting for Melissa. She has to change a class or something. Do you want to wait with me? Sorry, I just wanted to say hi. I have plans with Rodney tonight. Norma looked over at the back entrance to the office and looked at Cadence with a puzzled look. Norma didn't want to create a problem, but when did Norma ever really care about creating a problem? Cadence, I hate to tell you this, but Melissa is not in the office. She hasn't been in there for the last 20 or 30 minutes. How do you know? I was just in there looking through some files they had located for me to do a paper I'm researching, and nobody else was in there. A couple of professors came into the office and went into the room in the back and then left almost as soon as they got there. I wasn't paying that much attention to what they were doing though, but I'm completely sure Melissa was not in there at all. I just thought it would be nice to let you know someone should tell you so you don't keep waiting. I can almost believe you would wait here all night. Norma gave Cadence a look like she was a little leery and scared. Cadence looked up at Norma, shocked, and sighed. Sorry, I I was alone again. Why would Melissa tell excuse me.
Do you want some water?
Yeah, hang on a
Get
second.
a sip of water. You okay?
I think so. Maybe I should stop reading.
Okay, that was cool though. How many
Gosh, I
pages
didn't
did you get
expect
to?
that.
How many pages did you get to?
3. Mine was on 3.
Oh,
yeah,
that's good. I
3.
enjoyed it. I'm sure we all did. Thank you so
Okay.
much. But your voice
Oh my
is
gosh.
getting hoarse.
Oh,
Virginia says loves the live reading. Renee says bless you.
thank you. I apologize for that. I did not.
No. You're good. It sounded really good. Karen says, wait, I keep getting Renee. Renee, you're not going away. Sorry, Renee. I'm trying to get Karen. Hold on. Where is she? Okay, there we go. Karen says, great job.
Thank you.
Carol says, I'd love to read this book.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Karen Wright says, great reading, intriguing. Lori says, very nice. Dana says, enjoyed. Darlene says, great reading. And another comment from Renee, you are putting us in more suspense. And Belinda says, enjoyed it. And Darlene had a question.
Okay.
Oh, here it is right here. She wants to know, does your family read your books?
No, they don't. So I was super excited when my first book came out, and my sister's probably the first person that bought it, that I know of in my family. And then, I don't think my dad has read them, but my boyfriend, who pretty much tried to tell me I could do it, he's probably the one that pushed me a little bit,
Good for him.
gave me the confidence to actually pursue it. And he don't like to read, so like he doesn't like me to read to him. So no, he won't, but he'll listen to me tell him what they're about. And so
that's okay. I drink mine all the time. See?
yeah, so if anybody in my family has read them, other than that I don't know if anybody else is really aware, which I'm pretty sure that they might be. I only have one sister, so I'm not sure if she's read it. I think maybe my oldest daughter, has probably either read part of it or maybe all of it.
That's cool.
Yeah, so but I did give my 2 daughters a copy. They both have the copies, one of each, for Christmas. They each had one, and then I gave them the opposite, the one they didn't have, and so they could at least have it if they didn't read it and say, hey, my mom did that,
Yeah, that's really cool. I like that. Now, the book that you're working on, or you said it's been written,
Yeah, I'm currently writing it.
Now, what is that? What is that called again? I'm sorry.
It's called Breckenridge Falls,
And
it's a
and
sequel.
correct me if I'm wrong. This is the sequel to Returning Home. No.
Yes.
Yes. I
Yes.
got that right. Okay.
Yeah.
And you said you do or you don't have a cover for that?
I do, and it's. Let's see. I have a picture I can show you on my phone.
Sure, if you can, that'd be great.
Yeah. Let's see. Where did it go? Here it is. So.
Up a little higher.
A little higher.
Oh wow, that's a nice, colorful cover.
Yeah, I don't
Now,
know.
do you make your own covers?
So I have so far. This one was done by a cover designer.
Okay.
So it is pretty much spot on from what I wanted.
What you wanted?
Yeah. So like I was actually really shocked because.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
But the other two, you did your own covers.
Yeah. So with this one, I did it because, I believe it is set in October, and I like fall, and I thought, wow, I really want, and like she's going home, so she's gonna drive, and like what I wanted was like her looking down a road, but I thought that this was pretty close, so I thought this would be good, and I liked how
it wrapped around
standing there, so I used that picture, and the second picture, for my cover, when we became strangers, actually, and then the back. I don't know if you can see this, but
yeah,
over here you can see the trees and the moon. This was a picture that my best friend took, and I was writing the book at the time, and the part I was at in the book, I saw this picture, and I'm like, I think that could fit the whole book. Like, I think I could see that representing the whole story. So I asked her if I could use it, and she said yes, I could. And so I took that picture and I used it for the cover. And so
well done.
I thought with my next book, Breckenridge Falls, that I would try something a little bit more professional.
I have no clue how to even put a cover on a book. So well done.
Wow, yeah.
No
clue. It was hard. And
yeah,
another
I have a
thing,
cover designer.
Like formatting. I think it's formatting. So I feel like I have so much to learn yet. And I'm not a type of person that's just gonna say I know if I don't know. So like getting the chapters like where I want them. So chapter 1 might be here, and it might say chapter 2 like here on the next chapter. It won't be like on the at the top where you want it. So I think that's the format.
What you have to invest in, and this is one of the best investments when it comes to self-publishing for me,
yes,
is the software Vellum.
What's it called?
Vellum, VELLUM.
I'll have to write this down.
It is the best software when it comes to formatting. I write my book in Word just like you do, right?
Yeah.
You upload it to Vellum, it does all the formatting.
Really?
It's done in a matter of minutes. It's insane. And then you add like your cover. You upload your cover. You add your copyright. You add the about author page, which is so easy. I mean, it's easy. And you add whatever other pages you want, and then you format it for ebook, print.
Nice.
And what's the other one?
Generic. Hardback.
Print is paperback.
Print, yeah.
But when I bought it, it was like $2.99. I don't know what it is today.
Oh yeah.
But it is. This was like 5-6 years ago.
Oh,
but it is the best software.
Wow.
If I had to spend any money on my author career, it'll be Vellum, and then the editor.
So it's VALLIUM.
No, I think it's VELLUM.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it just formats it. I love it.
Nice. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. Everyone who has problems with formatting, I say you got to get this, and it's super friendly to use. Super
good. Because I don't know much about.
Now I have a Mac. That's what I'm not sure what you use. Hopefully, if you have Windows, whatever it's called, PC, it's compatible. I don't know.
I'll have to check and see first.
Check and see before you.
I'm not a big fan of Apple, mostly because I don't know how to use them, and they're a lot different. Like on phones, anyway, they're different than Android. So I have an Android,
Yeah.
But like my computer is HP Hewlett Packard, I think. See,
I
like,
have one back. I mean, I've always used a Mac, and it's like you use what you're used to.
yeah, and that's why I use
And you
this.
put me in front of a HP, and I'm cussing. I mean, if my
Yeah.
Mac is in the shop, I have a HP for backup.
Oh, that's good.
And nothing against what people use. I hate it. I hate it.
Yes.
And you
Yeah.
probably say the same thing about a Mac if you sit in front of it, because you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's
So
the same deal.
I know someone who has an Apple computer,
Yeah.
and when I sit down to use it, I can't even do it.
You have no idea.
Like,
And that's
yeah,
how I am with
backwards
HP.
in my brain, I think.
Yeah.
So.
And we just use what we used to. And I've always had Macs and Apple and an iPhone.
Yes.
And I don't know how to use
Yeah.
the HP. So, but yeah, if you're able to use Volume, I highly recommend it. Highly recommend.
I will give it a shot. I
And
will
it
see
keeps,
what I
it
can
keeps
do.
all your books. And like, for example, you have a book uploaded to Amazon, right? And all of
Yes.
a sudden you want to add another book into your biography, into your biblical, the index of your books that you've written. You just go into
Correct.
Volume, add that book, and upload the new files to Amazon, and it's updated.
Nice.
Yeah. Or if you find corrections, I mean, which I find, readers find,
Yeah.
I will go into my Volume file, correct it, and upload a new file. So it's corrected on Amazon.
That's
But yeah,
easy.
it's super, super easy.
Yeah. Usually I use Microsoft Word. That's what I've been using.
Yeah, that's what I use. I write
Yeah.
my book in Microsoft Word, and I upload Microsoft Word into Volume.
Oh wow!
And they
So
format the whole.
just
I don't
a file
have
of what you're writing.
I'm sorry.
Just the file on.
Yeah, my complete documents. Like if I have, a manuscript of, 300 pages.
Yeah.
Upload that whole file book into Volume.
Yes.
You don't need to do chapter breaks. You don't need to do paragraph indents. Nothing.
Wow.
It puts it all into book format. And
I guess I
is the
thought
book.
you meant like you write it in Volume as well as upload, but that's good. Yeah.
You just write it once in Microsoft Word and upload it to Volume.
Yeah.
But if you want to do corrections, you can just do it in Volume.
Nice. Yeah. I like that.
And we're getting totally off track here with our readers are, listening to us talk about our manuscripts and our books. All right. Okay. Karen says, I'm all about Apple.
That's good.
Renee says, I love when authors help other authors. That's what we're here for.
Oh, yeah. That's very
nice. That's what
nice.
we're here for. Belinda says, that's very interesting. And someone says, you have beautiful covers.
Oh.
And Carol says she loves that you use your friend's photo.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay, the book that's coming out, that's how we got onto this. Yeah. Did you say you have a release date for it?
I don't. Because I mean, usually I use Amazon KDP to publish it. And well, for one, I don't know when I'm going to be done with it. So I don't want to give a release date until I know, because I don't want to tell people the book's coming out and then I still got, all this to do. So I don't like to do that. I like to do it after it's done, but I'm thinking I might want to try something different, like to self-publish. But I don't know if I really want to go that route or not. So yeah, right now I have no release date, but I know when I can expect like myself to be done with it. So right now I'm just shooting for a couple months right now, but no exact date. So yeah, so because I really want to have it out, by the end of September, mid-October, because of the cover. The covers just looks like fall. Right. And like the story is kind of, set in October. So I really need to just kind of grind a little bit. But, for a while, I didn't really have any idea what I was going to write. And then I started thinking, like, does this make sense? And now I think I got something to work with. So I think that'll help a lot. Yeah.
And you said the book's finished, right? You finished writing the book?
No, not yet. No. Oh. I want it to be done by like mid-September or late September, maybe mid-October.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good luck with that. You got to let us know when it comes out.
Yes, I will. Definitely.
Totally excited about that.
Yes.
When you release a book, especially your first one, I like to get stories from the first one, but what do you do to celebrate?
What do I do to celebrate? I usually bake something. I just
There you go.
I like to eat, and I'll choose it, and I'll bake it, or just like I don't really have one set thing I do, but we do something like But I do that. I
So
have.
how about, are you going to be doing any book signings or a
I've
launch
never
party?
done a book signing, so I don't really know how to go about it. And I thought, um, maybe because I'd have to do it all myself. Like when it's like a traditional publisher, I'm not really sure how that works. They arrange
With
all
the self,
that.
yeah, when you go through the traditional publishing, they'll do it all for you. But
Yeah,
with self-publishing, yeah, we have to do it. But
yeah,
talk to your library.
yeah. I was thinking like I want to go to a place like I could go to the library, but I want some place I like. There's a couple places like around here that I have thought of, and I thought, I need to get all my ducks in a row, and I thought I should wait till this third book comes out, and then you know, then I'll have 3 books, and then I get lots of copies of them, and then I think I'll have something to go off of. I like your poster. Did you make that poster behind you?
I had that done through, Canva. Do you ever use Canva?
Yes, yes.
Okay, well, Canva, is that where you did your book covers on Canva?
No, no,
Okay,
I
well,
did not.
there's a
I
whole side of Canva that I recently discovered, and I'm like in awe because I can get my business cards done. That poster in the back,
yeah.
they did that. I designed it.
Wow,
I mean, it's just endless what they can do. They do flyers.
that's
What else do they do?
crazy. Yeah, I
Yeah.
use Canva for a lot of the things that I'll post. Like, recently it's my newest book, When We Became Strangers. I took it and I kind of like twisted it. I added a song to it, and there's like a strike of lightning. So it wasn't a song, it was like the sound of crashing lightning. And like it had like a background where there's like a cloud and a light pole. And like
Oh,
I
wow.
shared it, you'll have to check it out. But yeah, I did that, but like I can't seem to get past those things. Like if I was to make a book cover, just what I make don't really look
Yeah,
right.
I wouldn't know where to begin. I've always I've had the same book cover designer for all my books. And
Oh,
she
nice.
spoils me, and I know how she works. I know when to schedule her because she gets busy, and I know her time frame, and we just have a good relationship. And I
Yes.
just love the covers she does for me.
Oh
She's
yes,
worth
I
every
like your
single,
covers a
yeah,
lot.
she's worth every single penny. And
Oh,
hopefully she doesn't, stop what she's doing, because then I'll be like, no.
yeah,
But she does fantastic work. She really does.
that's awesome.
But check out Canva for stuff like that. But yeah, Canva did that banner behind me, and I
Oh,
have a smaller
nice.
one too. So
Oh, yeah, 'cause I thought, like, if I ever did a book signing, I'd have something like that
yeah,
maybe, and yeah, so after I get done, I think I'm gonna, like, venture out and kinda, like, see, maybe plan something for
yeah,
that.
yeah. I mean, like
Yeah.
being self-published, we have to wear all these hats. We have to market, write our books, do
Yes.
events. I mean, yeah, we're busy people, and we have to write the book too.
Yeah, true, and, like, in ways, I would love to have a traditional publisher, but I think I would also remain self-published too, because I have control over that.
That's my thing. My
Yeah.
my debut, Reckless Beginnings, went through a publisher, and I couldn't wait for the 2-year contract to be up. It was a
Oh,
nightmare. It was horrible, and
oh
it
my
and it was all about, like you said, control. I
yes.
wanted control of my work. This is my book. I wrote this book. I
Yes.
want to market it the way I want to. It's my business.
Yes.
After 2 years was up, I was able to get the rights to the woman in the cover, because I wanted that woman on my cover for the second edition, and then
Oh,
I
wow.
started self-published, and I
Oh
said,
my
I'm not going back.
yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not unhappy when no now that I've, like, heard, like, your story and, like, other people have talked to, and, like, it just doesn't sound as appealing. I mean, maybe, more money, but I don't know that they make as much as what people
No,
think,
they don't. I mean,
That's
I've told people this before. Usually, the norm for traditional publishing and sometimes small publishing houses is the author gets 7% of the wholesale.
really
The wholesale, not the retail. My
right.
father's an author. I deal with his estate. He's sadly passed away, but I'm still signing contracts for him.
Oh
and
my
it's still
God.
the same. It's still the same.
Still the same.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
mean, I
God.
can get what I get 1 month in Amazon.
Yeah.
I'll get a year at a publisher.
Oh, wow.
But that's from a small publishing house. The traditional publisher, my dad's, he's in the thing where he gets an advance. You know, it's gets a sensible amount. He gets the advance, and then you get paid royalties.
Yes.
But this is after 35 books. He has passed away, but his books are still selling through his agent.
Wow.
You know, but different agencies, different publishing houses pay differently. I think the traditional publisher will give you that big check, the 5 big publishing houses, and they'll give you that advance. How the smaller ones work, I don't know. I have no
yeah,
clue.
I'm not completely, I mean, I didn't know even that much. But what was I going to say? Just being self-published. Well, like a lot of people look at, like, I remember when I first self-published Returning Home, and I put it on my personal Facebook page, and I got a really huge response from people that I know of or know, I may not talk to all of them, but I know them from here or there. And after the second one, not so much. And I think people look at you like you're not a real author just because you don't have
that's sad.
Thousands, millions,
I mean, there's pros and cons about being self-published and not, and going with the 5 traditional. I mean, with the 5 traditional, the pro is they will get your books out there. They will spend the money and put the money behind your book to get it, on those tables in Barnes and Nobles. Because those tables are paid for by the traditional publishers. They don't just, decide which book they're going to put on that table. No, a book publisher will pay to have that book on that table.
Oh.
And there's stuff like that. They'll get your book out there, more than a self-publisher does, because the self-publisher is the one that has to do the footwork.
Yes.
Get the book out there. So there's pros and cons about it. But for me, control is more important.
Oh, yeah. I don't want someone to tell me. I mean, they could write the book themselves, versus having me do it.
Yeah.
So,
And
so
And Coward's written 7 cents hardly made it worth it.
Yeah.
It's, the checks are, but you get your book out. It all depends on what the author wants as far as their career goes. What works for me, it works for you, might not work for somebody else.
Do you ever get like emails or people, like for a long time somebody got my number and called me. It was Dorrance Publishing in Pennsylvania. I don't even know if it was real, but there were several other ones, and they wanted me to publish my book with them, and they tried to convince me, and they had different slogans, and I talked to them once, and then I told them to leave me alone, because they'd leave voicemail like 4 or 5 times a day.
Were they asking for money up front?
They were asking for money up front. They wanted $4,000 or $5,000. We're going to give you this, and we're going to give you that, and like, you're not going to get this anywhere else, and this is a guarantee. And I'm like, finally, I think I emailed them. Somehow they finally stopped. But
that's a vanity publishing house.
Yes,
that's what that is. And I just saw a comment. We got to wrap this up and see what time it is. But I just saw from Lori. She says volume is only for Mac.
Oh, well, that's interesting. So
I'm not, you might want to look into that. But she's very good at looking stuff up when I ask questions out loud. She'll be right there giving me an answer.
Oh,
so
nice.
Thank you for that, Lori.
That's helpful.
But Angela, this has been a fantastic chat. I could talk to you for a long, long time, but we got to wrap this up. Okay. But I do want to talk about the giveaways real quick. You are doing giveaways, so I want you to tell our readers what you're giving away.
Okay, so first of all, I have this nice shiny bookmark.
Ooh, pretty.
This is a rainbow color. And then I have this book light here.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it's blue. And then that's the back.
Now, is that one prize?
All together. All this is one prize, I think. Yeah.
It's up to you. It's up to you.
Okay, so then I have a Christmas book here.
Is that yours? Oh, no.
No, I didn't write this.
Okay.
No, but yeah.
Okay,
so I just thought the cover was really pretty. And, Christmas is coming up. So, and then a copy of Returning Home, my book, because my new book coming out, Breckenridge Falls, is a sequel. So I wanted to give the first book. Yeah.
How about can we break this up into two?
We can, yeah.
Let's do one prize, the Booklight Bookmark and the Christmas Storybook.
The what?
What's that book? Hold that book up again.
This one?
What's it called?
The Christmas Company.
Christmas Company. That could be one prize, and then your book can be another prize.
Okay, that works.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that might be better.
Yeah, and then you're going to sign your book, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Yay. All right, so what I can do is I'll go into the group and I'll see who's here live, and I'll pick the winners for you.
Okay.
And then I will email you, I don't know what's going on in Messenger, but I'll email you the info of the reader and send you the address. Would that be okay?
Yes, that would be great.
All right, and I usually announce the winner tonight around 8 o'clock California time.
Okay.
And I'll email you either late tonight or first thing in the morning.
Okay, and then everyone's fine.
Okay, and then I'm going to do my regular giveaway, which is the $5 Amazon gift card. Oh, and nice. For that, readers need to share this video and share it wherever you want, in your favorite book groups, on your personal page, wherever you like to share it. But do tag me so I know that you shared the video, and then you'll be entered in the drawing for the $5 Amazon gift card. And readers, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for the great questions. And Angela, thank you for being here. And if you want to say a last few words before we go, I'll hand it over to you.
If you want to follow me, you can on my author page on Facebook. It is author Angela Christensen. Like I was saying earlier, I have a new release coming out, Breckenridge Falls. And I was happy to be here, and nice to meet you, Tina. And thank you to whoever watched.
Thank you so much. It's been really fun. All right, everybody. Good night. I will talk to you soon. And I will announce the winner in the group in a couple of hours. Good night, everybody.
Bye.